BadManners said test.
We are in fact live. Thank you for joining us tonight at the Bad Manners extremely non-canonical stream. I hope you're all feeling absolutely amazing. Thanks for joining us nice and early. Random moderator Blue Sky. Very cool that you've been rocking out while getting your deck together. We're going to be doing some of that later tonight for sure. After we watch a nice little movie thing. It's like depends on which one we watch, but it could be a 40-minute video on the Noble Knight deck. Not to like figure out how to use it, but because I'm actually generally pretty interested in YuGiOh lore, like the stories behind the card, like art and shit like that. So apparently people have put some work into it. It doesn't surprise me because it seems pretty fleshed out. I mean, there's like lots of artwork in this like archetype. So I mean, every card has artwork on it, but like when you got like knights that are already based off of stories, the longest like fucking card titles you could imagine, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be like some pretty strong lore between all of it. But I guess every archetype has like some lore. I don't know how that works. Again, I started Yu-Gi-Oh when there really weren't archetypes, so the concept of archetypes kind of is I'm still getting used to it. I don't think that the Amazoness warriors have like any lore to them. Like, it's just a bunch of fucking wild ass ladies, you know, protecting their turf and shit. Outside of that, there's nothing too crazy. But yeah, we also might play some Naruto games on the Wii. Nothing too crazy. Tomorrow, though, we're gonna start streaming super early. We might do a watch party for a Smash tournament that the homies are going to / are in, and we're also going to just be streaming tomorrow until we figure out what we're gonna do about Galaxy. So, it's gonna be a super long stream tomorrow, incredibly long, ridiculously long. So that'll be fun. That'll be cool. Everybody can get ready for that. And yeah. Alright, we are here. I mean, yeah, I guess I could just... Yeah. Alright. I guess we'll watch the 40-minute video, and then if it gets like too complicated, or if it starts like going too much into like how to like combo with the deck, then I don't know. I think this is just the lore. I also think that this deck has like a lot of anime representation or something, and I just stopped watching the anime, so I don't know about it. But apparently, this might have just been a very popular card archetype, and I missed out on the hype. Oh, this is also more beautiful architecture. I don't know if it's beautiful architecture, but the lighting, the picture itself, honestly, is very beautiful. I'm also a fucking sucker for snowy places. Oh, I'm such a sucker for it. Orange lights and snow. Peak combination. Truly. The Tales of an Inner City Youth. Let's see if I can name these clowns. I do believe this is... Nope. No, this is Perder. This is Dristan. This is Lanzelin. This is Artorias. This is Bedwar. This is Medrot. His name is like Gallowin or some shit like that. And then this is Boars over here on the right. That's crazy. Half of these niggas I don't even use. I actually just put Lanzelin in the deck. Not gonna lie. I want to use Bedwar, but like that's a Master Duel thing. I don't think I have enough space in my deck to be running him all willy-nilly. Alright. Let us hit this. Hit this. Let's hit this.
The Noble Knight archetype, known as the Holy Knights in the Japanese, are a series of purely warrior type level 4 or level 5 monsters that combine either the Holy Light attribute or the Unholy Dark attribute. And as of their latest support in 2020, a new subgroup of them have arrived in the form of the Infernoble Knights.
Oh, so they're new.
Simply in the Japanese as the Flame Holy Knights. These, like their name implies, are all of the fire attributes, with the main deck monsters so far being only level 1 or level 4. The Noble Knights are supported by the Noble Arms, a group of equipped spell cards that each possess its own ability that it can bestow on those that wield it. And equally, the Infernoble Knights have their own Infernoble Arms equipped spell cards. The first Noble Knight to be released was Noble Knight Artorigus, who debuted in the 2012 pack Galactic Overlord. From here, new support would be continuously added at regular intervals over the next 8 years, appearing in Return of the Duelist, Cosmo Blazer, Abyss Rising, Judgment of the Light, Shadow Spectres, Legacy of the Valiant, Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, Primal Origin, Noble Knights of the Round Table Box Set, 2015 Mega
So there should be tons of support for this deck.
Cybernetic Horizon, 2018 Megatin Mega Pack, Soul Fusion Special Edition, Extreme Force, Rise of the Duelist, and Tomb Chaos. That should serve as a little bit of
Where are my Noble Knight Link cards? Thank you very much.
foreshadowing. There are a lot of cards in this archetype.
Oh, hold on, let me...
So, strap in. The gimmick of the deck is that, on their own, many of the Noble Knights have no power, since one is a knight without his sword. The idea then is to equip them with any of the Noble Arms equipped spells.
I get that.
Because firstly, it will enable
Shut up. I know how to play the deck.
Arms cards in the graveyard
/ maybe I don't.
Of the Round Table.
But I'm not learning from you, buddy.
As part of their archetypal abilities, it makes the Noble Knights very versatile. In terms of inspiration, the Noble Knights are all based on the Knights of the Round Table from Arthurian legend, while the Infernoble Knights are instead inspired by the French 12 Peers of Charlemagne. 12 elite knights, very akin to that of the Knights of the Round Table, making them a perfect pair from Arthurian legend, while the Infernoble Knights are instead inspired by the French 12 Peers of Charlemagne. 12 elite
A brotherhood of strong and valiant knights who... okay, so this is the Infernoble Knights. Brotherhood of strong and valiant knights who appear in the Legend of Charlemagne. Among others, the brotherhood includes Astolfo, Roland, Oliver, Turnpin, and Charlemagne himself. I have never seen Charlemagne in this archetype. I have no idea what he looks like. Thanks to the influence of the Chanson de Gis, or Gis, and other epic poems written after their time, they gained popularity in medieval Europe as superhuman legends.
Knights, very akin to that of the Knights of the Round Table, making them a perfect pair to go together. The weapons themselves are all iconic weapons that have appeared throughout these tales. We'll get to them a little bit later, but for now, since we know a little bit more about the archetype, let's take a look at each of the cards, see who and what they're inspired by, starting with Noble Knight Artorigus. His flavor text reads, "No one shall ever know the truth behind that fateful day. Artorigus went forth to wear the brilliant sword display. 'Twas the first of many feats so great, a legend through and through. We sing of him, Artorigus, the noble and the brave, from the tales of the Noble Knights." The only normal monster of the archetype, and the one with the largest flavor text of all normal monsters. The reason why this monster is normal is because
all normal monsters, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's not that crazy, but I do find that to be cool. That Artorius has the longest of all normal monsters. I would feel like World Chalice cards has that beat, but this video might have come out before the World Chalice deck hit the scene. But I also don't think that's the case. But it also might be the case because I didn't even look at when this video came out. But I just feel like the World Chalice deck is an older deck at this point.
she's based on the legend of King Arthur. This Artorigus has not yet pulled the sword from the stone to kickstart his destiny. You see, he is based on King Arthur, a figure from English lore. He was known also by his full name of Arthur Pendragon. When Arthur was born, his father, Uther Pendragon, sent him away into hiding, as a wise wizard known as Merlin spoke of a future he had foresaw, the country of England in turmoil, and the right to the seat of power in question. Sadly, what was predicted would come to pass. A vicious war that would throw the throne into a state of limbo. Merlin, using his magic, made a decree. He planted a sword into a stone with the inscription, "Whosoever pulleth out the sword from this stone is the right wise born king of all England." Those that believed themselves worthy attempted, but failed the test to draw the sword. That was until an older Arthur would appear, and by accident draw the sword from its pedestal, making him the true ruler. He was able to do this because he was the only one who would truly pursue justice for his country. After this, now King Arthur would take a wife, Guinevere, amass a group of knights to bring peace to his country, build a castle as his base in the land of Camelot, issue a quest for the Holy Grail, and obtain the legendary blade Excalibur from the Lady in the...
Okay. So the Holy Chalice quest was given to Custenine? And that's why Custenine is goated? Cool.
Justice for his country. After this, now King Arthur would take a wife, Guinevere, amass a group of knights to bring peace to his country, build a castle as his base in the...
I need this card. I don't know what card this is, but I need it. I 100% need it.
Land of Camelot.
The land of Camelot. Okay.
For the Holy
I think that is Custenine.
Grail, and obtain the legendary blade Excalibur from the Lady in the Lake.
Yo, it was hard to get that card, I'm not gonna lie.
Despite all of these great feats, if you fast forward to the end of Arthur's story, it ends in sadness and death. The last of the knights to see him alive was Noble Knight Bedwyr, known in the Japanese as Holy Knight Bedivere. Its effect is when this card is normal or special summoned, you can send one Noble Arms equipped spell from your deck to the graveyard. During either player's turn, you can target one Noble Arms equipped spell card and one appropriate monster on the field. Equip that equipped spell card to that appropriate monster. A monster based on Sir Bedivere, a loyal ally to Arthur. He is most notable for being present at the final battle of Camlan, with only he and a fatally wounded Arthur left alive. Arthur would issue a final request with his dying breath, to cast his legendary blade Excalibur back into the lake from whence it came. This was to avoid the sword falling into the wrong hands. Though reluctant, thinking of all the good this sword could do for England, he did as his king asked, and returned the blade back to the lake. An act that is referenced in this card's art,
but why
and
is...
in his effect, as it too casts a sword from the deck into the dark abyss of the grave. Noble Knight Boars. This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field. While equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell card, this card becomes an effect monster with these effects. This card becomes dark and its level is increased by 1. During your main phase, you can reveal 3 Noble Arms cards from your deck. Have your opponent randomly add one of them to your hand and send the rest to the grave. Noble Knight Quelchabad. This card is treated as a
maybe I had Boars back.
While equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell card, this card becomes an effect monster with this effect.
Oh, Quelchabad.
Target one Noble Knight monster in your grave, add it to your hand, and if you do, destroy one Noble Arm equipped spell card you control. Noble Knight Peredur, known in the Japanese as Holy Knight Percival. While equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell card, this card becomes dark, and its level is increased by 1. If this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell card, target one Noble Arms card in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. These 3 knights are based on Sir Bors the Younger, Sir Galahad, and Sir Percival, collectively known as the Grail Knights. They were named so as they were the ones to pursue the Holy Grail, an item said to bestow the drinker with eternal youth, everlasting happiness, and the power to heal all wounds. On their quest, though they were able to find the Grail, it was taken by a bright light, becoming forever out of reach of man. This experience left only Sir Bors able to return home, as Percival, after all he had seen, chose to live a life of solitude, while Galahad died shortly after.
Crazy.
The fact that Noble Knight Bors was the only one to return might be why he was the only one shown in the Grail in his artwork. Noble Knight Brothers. This card can only attack if you control exactly 3 Noble Knight monsters, Nova monsters.
We out
When
here,
this card is
brother.
normal summoned, you
Learn
can
about
special
some
summon up to
Yu-Gi-Oh!
2
Big
Noble
chillin',
Knight
nothing
monsters
too
from your
crazy.
hand.
Hope you
Also,
having an
cannot
excellent
special
night.
summon
Thanks for
monsters
joining
the rest
us.
of this turn, except Noble Knight monsters. Once
This
per
is,
turn, attack 3 Noble Knight and
like
put
the
Noble
deck that I
Arms
use
cards
in
from your
Yu-Gi-Oh!
graveyard,
And it has like a
shuffle
whole
all 3
bunch of
to the
like
deck,
Magic the
draw one
Gathering
card.
ass lore
Noble Knight Gawain.
behind it, so
If you
we're all
control a
learning
light
about it.
normal
I never.
monster, you can special summon
I mean,
this
it's
card
like
from your hand in defense position.
it's basically
The
based
free
off
Noble
of like, you know, regular night ass bullshit. You know, like King Arthur and other like famous ass motherfuckers. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Puts its own little spin on it and how they interact and like what the story is. So it's worth it. And you know, I'm you said people get paid for this. You mean to like make stories and shit about cards? This is true. There's like a whole department at it or for it at Yu-Gi-Oh! I imagine. I'd love to know like what they be on, bro. There's 20,000 cards in this game. It might be 10,000, but I think it also might be 20,000. And I don't know, people had to make up stories for all of them, Johns. Or like at least have an idea. You said not the worst job. Nah. Not at all. Not at all, brother.
In your graveyard, shuffle all 3 into the deck, then draw 1 card. Noble Knight Gawain. If you control a light normal monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. The 3 Noble Knight Brothers, along with Noble Knight Gawain, are actually all based on the brothers Sir Agravain, Sir Gareth, Sir Gareth, and the most well-known Sir Gawain. While all nephews of
Apparently Gawain is part of the Noble Knight brothers. I didn't know that. Miss the old days when it was new in America. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah. Apparently they have a name for people like you. They're called Yugi Boomers. I am also one of the Yugi Boomers. It was definitely a different game back then. An immensely different game.
defense position. The 3 Noble Knight Brothers, along with Noble Knight Gawain, are actually all based on the brothers Sir Agravain, Sir Gareth.
I guess he is wearing like a similar set of armor to
Sir
them.
Gawain. While all nephews of King Arthur and all considered great knights, Gawain himself was noted to have been one of the greatest knights in Arthur's company, and
Really?
both a dear friend to Arthur.
He's such a
and
useless
another
card.
knight, Lancelot. However, after Lancelot's betrayal, he would turn his back on him and side with King Arthur. Noble Knight Custanin, known in the Japanese as Holy Knight Corneus. If you control a Noble Arms
Custanin,
equipped spell,
yeah.
you can special summon this card.
I
from
call
your
him
hand. You can
Custanin.
special summon Noble Knight Custanin once per turn this way. A Noble Knight monster that was synchro, exceeds, or
Yeah, I also need this card. It's a decent card. Oh, I can just use my keyboard. I didn't know that. That's what's up. You have one in the deck, not Yu-Gi-Oh! The Blue Eyes deck Dragon one. Yeah, what do you call it? Yeah, I had the Yugi movie deck or some shit like that, and the Kaiba deck. They were awesome. I love them to death. But I think like a year or two after they were released, like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta developed at like tournaments and shit. Not that I ever went to any, but that being the case, those decks weren't really like super useful. They were cool, but you really wasn't beating nobody because they had poor card engines, right? Like you'd summon one card and then like that's it. Like maybe put down a trap or something like that, and then the next turn maybe you put down a card. Maybe you contribute something, but it was very slow in like plotting. But then they started releasing cards that were like, I play this, and it interacts with this card that's either in my deck or whatever. And then Yu-Gi-Oh! Like became like a different and more like structured game, because the card game came after the show, and the show didn't have rules until like season 2 or 3. So, or at least that's what the understanding is.
However, After Lancelot's betrayal, he would turn his back on him and side with King
So those
Arthur.
first couple decks
Noble
from
Knight
like the early
Christina,
show,
known in the Japanese as Holy Knight Corneus.
they're not doing
If you
nothing.
control a Noble Arms equipped spell, you can special summon this
Yeah, I
card from your
agree.
hand. You can only special summon Noble Knight Custonin once per
Keith
turn this
GX
way.
said
A
show
Noble
was
Knight
dumb
monster
but
that was
fun.
synchro, exceeds, or link
Absolutely.
summoned using this card on the field as material.
I mean, like,
against this effect. If this card
it
is
was
special
just like a
summoned, you
different
can normal
game.
summon one Noble Knight
Like the
monster
original
during your
Duel
main
Monster
phase this
show,
turn. In addition to
it
your
was
normal
100%
set.
just like
Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest
like
of this
a
turn,
Dungeons
except
and Dragon
Noble
like
Knight
type of
monsters.
situation,
This knight is based
and
on
not like really a
Constantine
card
of
game.
Britain.
Eventually, it became
King
more
Arthur's
card game
cousin,
like.
and the successor to the
Keith
throne.
GX
Noble
said,
Knight
yeah,
deal
I had
normal
the
summon
dude
set.
with the blonde
Also,
hair.
you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn,
just-
except
you just showed
not
Tristan.
summoned. You can normal summon one Noble Knight monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summon or set. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Noble Knight monsters. This knight is based on Constantine of Britain,
Okay.
who was King Arthur's cousin and the successor to the throne.
Interesting.
Noble Knight Dristan, known in the Japanese as Holy Knight Tristan. While you control another Noble
Why do
Knight
they-
monster, your opponent cannot target your monster.
Like literally, why do they? Oh, I never used that effect of Tristan, or I've never really.
Sad Saturday morning cartoons were let.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just some of the best stuff. Hearing that intro come on channel 17 after what was that shit with the bald monk dude? His name was Ami or Omni, some shit like that. And they would like do kung fu, but it was also like elemental at the same time. It was a great shit. Lucha Libre was awesome. Jackie Chan was very good. What is it? A Shaolin monk. Shaolin something. Shaolin warrior? Something. Shaolin something or other.
Monsters with less than 1800 attack, except this card with card effects. And their monsters cannot target them with attacks. If a Noble Arms equipped spell becomes equipped to this card, target one face-up card on the field, destroy that target. This knight is based on Sir Tristan, known for his legend of Tristan and Isolde, which tells of a tale of how one day, whilst he was transporting the maiden Isolde to his uncle, he and her both accidentally consumed a love potion.
What?
The two, now madly in love, had to hide their affair from their uncle.
What the hell?
However, slowly over time, the potion began to
Keith
fade,
$G
and their true
FSGP said
feelings for
playing
each
Jedi
other
Survivor.
could be revealed.
Nice.
Noble Knight Ivan. If a Noble Arms equipped spell card becomes equipped to this card, you can special summon one Noble Knight token. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Noble Knight monsters. While this card is equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell, all other Noble Knight monsters you control gain 500 attack. This card is based on Sir Iwain. He was most well known for rescuing a lion from a fierce dragon, after which the lion became his ever-faithful companion
Okay.
and would stay by his side to his final days.
Cool
Something that
Pokemon.
is referenced in his card artwork. Noble Knight Pelennor. You can target one Noble Arms equipped spell equipped to this card and one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy them, then draw one card. Also, this card cannot attack for the rest of this turn. This knight is based on King Pelennor, who is the king of Listanese and a friend to King Arthur. He was said to have broken the sword Arthur had pulled from the stone in combat. However, most notably, he hunted the questing beast, a creature with the head of a snake, the body of a leopard, the legs of a lion, and the feet of a stag. Noble Knight Joan, known in the Japanese
Like, why
as
would-
Holy
why would he
Knight
break my
Jean.
sword?
If this card attacks, it loses
not
300
cool.
attack
Fuck
damage
that guy.
only. If this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or card effect, and sent to the grave, you can send one card from your hand to the grave, then target one level 4 or lower warrior type monster in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. The only female knight in the Noble Knights, this monster isn't actually associated with Arthurian legend. Instead, she is based on a notable figure from France, which is more akin to the Infernoble Knights. She's based on Joan of Arc, who was a peasant girl who, after believing she was acting under divine guidance, led the French army to victory against the English during
I guess
the
this
100-Year
card gets
War.
summoned in the
Noble
anime.
Knight Medrort, known in the Japanese as Holy Knight Mordred. This card is treated
Bro,
as a
they
normal
just have
monster
better
or face
names
on
in
the
Japan.
field.
In
While
Japan.
equipped with a Noble Arms
weird.
equipped spell, this becomes an effect monster with this effect. This card becomes dark, and its level is increased
What
by
the fuck
1.
is Medrot?
Once per turn, if you control control no other monsters.
Keith
You can special summon one Noble
FSPP
Knight
said
monster
more
from
like
your deck
Jonah
in defense
Arch.
position, except Noble Knight Medrort. And if you do, destroy one equipped spell you control. This card's effect, becoming dark and increasing its level by 1 when equipped with a Noble Arms equipped card, reflects Mordred's betrayal when he usurped King Arthur's position as king. You see, this knight is based on Sir Mordred.
I mean, like, I know bro was shady because of the weird shadow that, like, is in the card art, but you're telling me that this nigga that I honestly just made my entire deck engine because, like, he can summon monsters to the field and destroy, you know, Noble Arms cards and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that he was the op. I didn't know he was the bull who was gonna be like,
surprise, motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's crazy. He do look sus though.
The illegitimate son of King Arthur.
What?
Arthur was ashamed of this child because an equipped spell you control. This card's effect, becoming dark and increasing its level by 1 when equipped with a Noble Arms equipped card, reflects Mordred's betrayal when he usurped King Arthur's position as king. You see, this knight is based on Sir Mordred, the illegitimate son of King Arthur. Arthur was ashamed of this child because, well, he might have accidentally had him with his cousin.
What?
Yeah. So not wanting this information to get out, he attempted to have him killed by sending him away at sea. However, Mordred's ship crashed upon some rocks, and so he survived. Despite his lineage, Mordred actually grew up and became a despicable knight, committing countless crimes and gaining no favor with the other knights. A monk would one day reveal his heritage to him,
What card
along
is
with
this?
a prophecy that stated he would lead England to its ruin. After hearing this, he went on an absolute bender and tried to usurp the king, where after the events of Lancelot's civil war broke out, he would find Arthur on the battlefield and would be challenged to a duel by Arthur. Arthur called him a traitor and plunged his spear through his chest. However, just before he would die, Mordred would fatally stab Arthur with Arthur's own ceremonial sword, Clarent. Ignoble Knight of Blacklands Lane, known to the Japanese as Unholy Knight Lancelot. You can send one face-up, like normal monster you control to the graveyard.
I mean, this is the last time I'll bring up the point, but, like, why the hell in English is this nigga's name Lancelin? Like, and in Japan got Lancelot. Is it like a marketing issue? Like, some type of weird copyright? Couldn't imagine.
This card from your hand or grave. You contribute one Noble Knight monster, add one Noble Arms card from your deck to your hand. You can only control
I actually just added him to my deck.
Blacklands Lane. This monster is based on Sir Lancelot, one of the greatest knights of all time, who is also known by Lancelot of the Lake, as he was raised by the Lady in the Lake herself. Lancelot stands as the living embodiment of a perfect knight, a person who was capable and willing to do whatever he must. However, in the end, the most basic of human emotions is what would set about the ruin to his knightly ways. For you see, Lancelot fell in love. Unfortunately, it was with King Arthur's wife, Guinevere. This act and the actions that would follow would set into motion a chain reaction that would cause a civil war. A war that would ultimately end in the fall of King Arthur.
So Lancelot was drawing.
Known the Japanese as Holy Knight Ector de Maris. You can banish 2 Noble Knight monsters from your graveyard, special summon this card from your hand or grave. You can only use this effect of Noble Knight Ector once per turn. A synchro or exceed summon of a Noble Knight monster using this card as material cannot be negated. Also, your opponent can activate cards or effects when that monster is special summoned. This Noble Knight is based on Sir Hector de Maris, half-brother of Lancelot. This relationship is actually shown in this monster's effect, as it too can be special summoned from the grave, just like Lancelot can. Lady of the Lake, known in the Japanese as Vivian Lady of the Lake, she cannot be used as a synchro material, except for the synchro summon of a warrior-type monster. If this card is used for a synchro summon, banish it. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one Noble Knight normal monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one level 5 Noble Knight monster you control, reduce its level by 1, and if you do, special summon this card from the grave. She is based on an enchantress that would serve as Lancelot's mother and the one to give Arthur the sword Excalibur, something she is actually seen holding in the artwork. Guinevere, Queen of Noble Arms, known in the Japanese as Guinevere, the Queen who bears the Holy Sword. You can target one Noble Knight monster you control, equip this card from your hand or grave to that monster. You can only use the effect of Guinevere, Queen of Noble Arms once per turn. The equipped monster gains 300 attack. Apply the appropriate effect depending on the attribute of the equipped monster. Light. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by a card effect, you can destroy this card instead. Dark.
I used to
If the
use
equipped
this
monster
card. I
battles
took it
an
out of my
opponent's
deck.
monster at the start of the damage step, you can destroy that monster and
taking up
destroy this
space.
card. Wife to King Arthur and affair to Lancelot, the duality of this woman is shown by the fact that this
Affair?
monster can provide beneficial effects for both light, like Arthur, and
That's crazy. I mean, they were saying that Lancelot was thirsting over, you know, Arthur's wife, but he ain't say that it was mutual. Hold up. Chill. Everybody, bro. This is a Game of Thrones deck. I ain't even know. That's crazy. Hold on.
dark, like Lancelot. The duality of this woman is shown by the fact that this monster can provide beneficial effects for both light, like Arthur, and dark, like Lancelot, monsters in the archetype. Morgan, the Enchantress of Avalon.
Never seen this
Known
card
in
before.
Japanese as Morgan, the Witch of Avalon. When your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a Noble Knight monster and a Noble Arms equipped spell, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, destroy one Noble Arms equipped spell you control, and if you do, negate the activation.
Stop the fucking cap. Stop the fucking cap. You're telling me that this deck has this archetype has a hand trap? This archetype has a hand trap? Brother. It's crazy too because in the previous card art with Guinevere, I was like, you can see in the shadow that she's like making a deal with somebody or something like that. And I guess this is the person she's making a deal with, but bro, I need this card. What do you mean? This changes everything.
This monster is based on another enchantress, Morgana, a sorceress who was responsible for healing Arthur at her island, Avalon, when he was in a bad shape. And in terms of the Noble Knight lore, perhaps it was Morgan who blessed Arthur's weapons to imbue them with the magical energy that gives it its glow. Merlin, known in Japanese as Legendary Prophet Merlin, can only use each effect of Merlin once per turn. You can tribute this card, special summon one Noble Knight monster from your deck. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect except Noble Knight monsters. Quick effect, you can banish this card from your grave, immediately synchro summon one Noble Knight synchro monster using monsters you control. Quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, immediately Xyz summon one Noble Knight.
This is our
Xyz
boy
monster
right here. We
using
use this
monsters
nigga all
you
the
control.
time.
Merlin is based on the wizard Merlin, the person who engineers Arthur's rise to becoming king.
That's it for the normal cards? Interesting.
Isolde, two tales of the Noble
Oh.
Knights. Known in the Japanese as Isolde,
I'm a little salty. I was complaining that there weren't any Link monsters. I just didn't know that there were Link monsters. That's fair. You got that.
reminiscence of the Holy Knights. If this card is link summoned, you can add one warrior monster from your deck to your hand. But for the rest of this turn, you cannot normal summon, set, or special summon monsters with that name, nor activate their monster effects.
Alright.
You can send any number of equipped spells with different names from your deck to the graveyard. Special summon one warrior monster from your deck whose level equals the number of cards sent to the grave. The only link monster in the archetype so far, this monster is based on two women from the story of Tristan and Isolde. Basically, after the love potion fiasco we talked about earlier, Tristan got better and him and Isolde split up because, you know, they were in a love potion, like maybe it wasn't real. And then he went out with another girl called Isolde. However, while he was with her,
Yo,
he actually
Tristan
got
was fucking.
poisoned. So he
Oh.
requests for her to get his ex-girlfriend Isolde to come, as she knows how to cure the poison. He also specifies that whoever brings her to use white sails if she is on the ship returning, or black sails if she is not. This is so that they can know as soon as possible if a cure is on its way. Tristan, who is now bedridden, asks Isolde if he sees the ship, which she does. However, jealous that his ex was coming, she lies and says that the sails were black. Tristan dies immediately with despair from hearing this. And when Isolde arrives with the cure, she also dies too. just
Crazy.
from grief. You know, bit awkward. But what's interesting about this is, if you look at the artwork of this card, you can actually see the different colours of the sails behind the two women. and each of the women in this artwork are reflecting the 2 in the story. Sacred Noble Knight of King Custonin, known in the Japanese as Sacred Holy Knight King Corneus. You can detach any number of materials from this card, then target that many cards your opponent controls, return them to the hand. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the grave, you can special summon 1 Noble Knight Xyz monster from your extra deck, except Sacred Noble Knight of King Custonin. And if you do, attach this card from the graveyard to that monster as material. This is treated as an Xyz summon. This monster is the upgraded form of Noble Knight Custonin. The reason why Custonin is given an Xyz upgraded form, unlike all the others, is most likely because he was the one next in line to the throne. Arthur also has upgraded forms, as he was the king, so Custonin should too. In fact, speaking of, Artorigus, King of the Noble Knights. When this card is Xyz summoned, you can target up to 3 Noble Arms equipped spells from different names in your graveyard, equip those targets to this card. Per turn, you can attach 1 Xyz material from this card, destroy any number of spells trapped on the field, up to the number of Noble Arms equipped spell cards you control. Sacred Noble Knight of King Artorigus. When this card is Xyz summoned, you can target up to 3 Noble Arms equipped spell cards with different names in your graveyard, equip those targets to this card. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 other monster on the field, destroy that target. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 level 4 or higher Noble Knight monster in your grave, special summon that target. Both these monsters are upgraded forms of Artorigus. Each new form actually increases by 200 attack and defense each more than the previous one. In fact, the other extra deck monsters also follow this trend. Ignoble Knight of Highland Slain, known in the Japanese as Unholy Knight King Lancelot. When this card is synchro summoned, you can equip 1 Noble Arms, equip spell card from your deck to this card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card destroyed a monster by battle and sent to the grave, you can add 1 Noble Knight or Noble Arms card from your deck to your hand. You can only control 1 Ignoble Knight of Highland Slain. This monster is the upgraded form of Ignoble Knight of Blackland Slain. Everything in his artwork shows a little about his past, such as his sword Aphrodite, which is based on Lancelot's actual sword Arundite. The lake shows how he was raised by the Lady in the Lake. Since he is now wielding Artorigus' Caliburn, now imbued with his own red magic, this could symbolize his usurping of the king, something that the Arthurian legend Lancelot did not do. For you see, Lancelot, ashamed of everything that had transpired, lived out the rest of his life in solitude, eventually asking upon his death to be buried alongside his king and queen. I wonder if we'll ever get a Lancelot redemption card.
Interesting.
Konami, maybe make it happen? The Infant Nobles are based on 12 French knights of myth. They were an elite group of warriors that, while similar in concept to the Arthurian Knights of the Round Table, was special because each would fight alongside a companion within their ranks, as a means to watch each other's back and help each other grow in battle. Roland, the mightiest and the leader of the 12,
That's why they're
fought
equipped
alongside
cards.
Oliver. Sadly, just like the Arthurian legend, this group of warriors would also fall to despair, which was illustrated in the Song of Roland. So far, in the archetype we have Infant Noble Knight Roland. Quick effect, you can target 1 face-up monster you control, equip this card from your hand to that target as an equipped spell. That gives that card 500 attack. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can add 1 fire monster, except Infant Noble Knight Roland, or 1 equipped spell card from your deck to your hand. Infant Noble Knight Renaud. If you control a fire warrior monster, you can special summon this card. If summoned this way, treat this card as a tuner. You can only special summon Infant Noble Knight Renaud once per turn this way. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 of your fire warrior monsters or 1 of your equipped spells that is banished or in your grave, except Infant Noble Knight Renaud, add it to your hand. Infant Noble Knight Astolfo. You can banish 1 fire monster from your hand or graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, then you can make this card's level become the level of the banished monster. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon this banished card during your second standby phase after this effect's activation. Then you can special summon 1 of your fire warrior monsters that is banished or in your grave. Infant Noble Knight Morgus. While this card is an equipped card, the equipped monster cannot be destroyed by battle. You can only use each of the following effects of Infable Knight Morgus once per turn. If this card is sent to the grave, you can shuffle into the deck 3 of your other Fire Warrior monsters and or Noble Arms cards that are banished in your graveyard, draw 1 card. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 warrior monster you control, equip this card to that monster you control. Infant Noble Knight Ogier. While this card is an equipped card, the equipped monster cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Infobal Knight YuGiOh once per turn. If this card is normal or special summon, you can send one Noble Arms card or one Fire Warrior monster, except Infobal Knight YuGiOh, from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one warrior monster you control, equip this card to that monster.
That sounds like some good stuff, Blue.
Noble Knight Oliver. While this card is an equipped card, your opponent cannot target the equipped monster with card effects.
I need
You can
this.
only use each of the following effects of Infobal Knight Oliver once per turn. You can send one Fire Warrior monster or one equipped spell from your hand or face up.
I don't think
field
he's
to the
in
grave.
Duel Links.
Special summon this card from your hand as a level 1 monster. This card is in your grave. You can target one warrior monster you control. Equip this card to that monster you control. Noble Knight Captain Oliver. When this card declares an attack while equipped, you can target one face-up card on the field, destroy it. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the grave, you can target one warrior monster you control, special summon this card from your graveyard as a tuner. And if you do, equip that monster you control to this card as an equipped spell that gives it 500 attack. Noble Knight Roland. If this card is synchro summoned, you can activate this effect during the end phase of this turn. Send one equipped spell from your deck to the grave, add one warrior monster from your deck to your hand. During the main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can target one warrior monster you control, equip this card to that monster you control as an equipped spell that gives it 500 attack. Noble Knight Emperor Charles. If an equipped card becomes equipped to a monster on the field, even during the damage step, you can destroy one card on the field. During the end phase, you can equip one equipped spell from your hand or graveyard to this card. Then you can equip one Fire Warrior monster from your deck to this card as an equipped spell that gives it 500 attack. It is clear to see that we still have a few more of the knights to come. Not all of the 12 Knights of Charlemagne are here, so let's round this video off now with the spells and the traps. Noble Knights of the Round Table is based on the Knights of the Round Table. Heritage of the Chalice, based on the Holy Grail. Glory of the Noble Knights. It's just showing their glory, really, isn't it? Last chapter of the Noble Knights, known in the Japanese as End of the Legend of the Holy Knights. This card is based on when Bedivere returned Caliburn back to the Lady in the Lake. Lancelot's sword is also visible here because after these events, he renounced his knightly ways and went into hiding. Noble Narms Arthroduter. This is based on Lancelot's sword, Arundite, also known as the Unfading Light of the Lake. This sword is a counterpart to Arthur's Excalibur, and as such it is equally as powerful. Noble Arms Caliburn, based on one iteration of Excalibur, as its name is literally just Excalibur minus a couple letters. This sword is the version that was drawn from the stone, whereas Noble Arms Excalibur is the version that was given to Arthur from the Lady in the Lake. It is a sword said to have magical capabilities, and was forged in a realm not of our own. Noble Arms Clarent. Based on the identically named Clarent, it was another of Arthur's swords. However, this one was more of a ceremonial weapon for knighting. However, ironically, this weapon would be stolen by Mordred and be the weapon that would deliver the killing blow to Arthur. Noble Arms Gallatin. It is based on Gawain's sword, Galuf. Noble Arms of Destiny. Based on both Galahad's sword and shield. He received the sword by pulling it out of a stone near a river with the inscription reading, "Never shall man take me, only he by whose side I ought to hang, and he shall be the best knight of the world." The shield, however, was given to him when he set off for the quest for the Holy Grail. It was a white shield adorned with a red cross of blood. Ooh. Until Noble Arms are needed once again, known in the Japanese as the future guided by the Holy Swords. Avalon, known in the Japanese as Promised Land Avalon. Avalon is a place that Morgana took Arthur after he was heavily injured in the Battle of Camelot. And finally we have the Infanoble Avalon shield. He received the sword by pulling it out of a stone. The white Noble Arms are needed once again, known in the Japanese as the future guided by the Holy Swords. Avalon, known in the Japanese as Promised Land Avalon. Avalon is a place that Morgana took Arthur after he was heavily injured in the Battle of Camelot. And finally we have the Infanoble Arms Durandal, which is the sword of Roland. Infanoble Arms Hortclear, this is the sword of Oliver. Infanoble Arms Joyous, that is the sword that was wielded by Charlemagne, the king of the Franks, and the sword means, I think, happiness, joyous, you know. And finally, Horn of Oilfant, which is a type of horn. Before we go and ask you all a question, if you could wield any of the Noble Arms, which one would you wield and why?
It's definitely
Myself,
Destiny.
I'm gonna go with Caliburn. I like it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Big thank yous to my
I cooked
Patreon
you.
and YouTube
Sorry.
backers. First of all, to my Platinum backers, Nemochan77, Daniel Toms, you know you
I
did.
guess they released more cards? Yeah, this was 3 years ago. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. That's 4 years ago. We just watched this video. This is 1 year ago. Guess nobody's uploaded the videos since they released new cards. Only slightly new cards, too. There's like some other Magic cards I guess he left out.
Hello, true duelists. It's YuGiOh Strat's Yu-Gi-Oh! Single Card History, where I'm going to be talking about some of the cards that have impacted Yu-Gi-Oh! Throughout the years, and some of the other ones that didn't. Today's card, Konami's officially printed Nightmare Blunt rotation, Noble Knights of the Round Table. Noble Knights of the Round Table was first released in Primal Origin as an ultra-rare card in 2014. Notable reprints to date include 2014's Noble Knights of the Round Table box set, the abomination of a product that Konami used to introduce us to Platinum Rares, which is relevant because that's the rarity that this card came in. It was a Platinum Rare and it was very ugly. It also got an ultra rare reprint in the 2015 Megatons, and most recently as I make this video, it got a rare print in the 2020 Maximum Gold set. It's never been on the ban list because why would it ever be? Field spell
It's
card.
a garbage
its
card.
reads, during your end phase, you can activate each of these effects up to once per turn, depending on the total number of Noble Knight cards with different names in your graveyard and or you control. 3 or more, send 1 Noble Knight card from your deck to the graveyard. 6 or more, special summon 1 Noble Knight monster from your hand, then you can equip 1 Noble Arms equip spell from your hand to that monster. 9 or more, target 1 Noble Knight monster in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. 12 or more, draw 1 card. Would you look at that? A useless mess of a card, and I'm gonna waste some time bitching about it. I have so much to say, I'm not even quite sure where to start. As is always important, we should look at this card in the context of when it was released. And when it was released, there were 15 Noble Knight monsters in total. So you could resolve each of these effects, but that did not make all the knights playable. There are very few archetypes with 15 playable monsters, and Noble Knight is most certainly not one of them, and most certainly was not the case to be in 2014, especially when one of these 15 Noble Knights is Noble Knight Joan, which is a Noble Knight in name only, and is bad even by 2014 standards. This also includes the deck's vanilla of Artorigus and Puridur, whose effect is a neg-1 on advantage technically, and I really bring up just to say that you're running tight on names here just to be able to use this field spell's effects. And even then, you'll have to make all of the available extra deck monsters in a duel to really get full use of this card. And let's take a closer look at those effects and just how little it is they do for each other. The one you'll be using most reliably is obviously the first.
Only the first one. That's the only one I've ever
send
used.
a Noble Knight card from your deck to the graveyard. It's not a terrible effect, except for the fact that this is taking place in your end phase. But it's also not an exceptional one either. There are 2 level 5s in the deck, one being Black Lancelin, which I've probably said wrong and feels kind of weird to say, I won't lie, but
yeah,
it's a monster that can summon itself from the grave when
agree.
you're too bricked up on too many Noble Knights and not enough equip spells. And Iktar, this guy, is one who summons himself out from the grave as well, but to do so will require banishing 2 Noble Knights from the grave. So not only will it need further setup, but also it'll hinder your round table even more. Nice. Other than these 2, none of the Noble Knights have effects that really want them to be in the grave, or at least not as much as you'd wish you were sending a Noble Arms equip spell instead.
True.
Meanwhile, if you get up to 6 names, the card shifts, with it then summoning a Noble Knight from your hand only, and equipping it with a Noble Knight
maybe it
equip
works
spell
better with the
again from your hand
Infernobles.
only. Imagine if you could summon, say, a Noble Knight from the graveyard with this effect. I guess that would make too much sense. And Konami isn't here to do that because they are only here to make dollars. It's an interesting effect because it implies you opened a Noble Knight and a Noble Arm, which was the deck's biggest weakness on release. The deck had a pseudo-monarch problem, but instead of the ratios being tribute to tribute fodder, this needed knights and swords. All the best knights needed swords to get their effects, and those effects are almost all entirely activated during your main phase. The exact exception to this would be if you had a copy of Dristan and a sword. And then in the end phase, you could pop an opponent's monster, assuming you didn't just do that in the first place. This one is wild to me, especially in the context of 2014 Noble Knights, because it assumes that you opened 2 knights and 2 equips, used one and did your plays, and then wanted to put a Noble Knight on board as just a plug to help swarm in the end phase. It doesn't even work with Brothers Effect to Recycle, because that needs to be a normal summon. It's just a best case scenario, hope you can sort of effect, and it's a reward for the mid game because you're not getting it off turn 1 since you need 6 knights in the grave and or on the field. And then if you get 9 knights in the grave or on your field, you finally get to an effect that works with another effect on this card. For the low cost of having 9 differently named Noble Knights been played, and somehow you haven't either won or lost already,
Yeah,
you
for
can grab
real?
a Noble Knight from your graveyard and add it to your hand. This does pair well with the first effect, but again, we run into the issue that it's taking place in the end phase. At the end of your turn, you can Foolish a Knight and add it to your hand. Wow, crazy. What knight could you possibly want that isn't one of the 9 you've already had access to even get to be able to use this effect? And you know what? Yes, this does technically work with the 6 effect, but unless you also have a sword still kicking around, you're not getting a meaningful summon off of it. You're just putting a vanilla on the board. Even if you use it to summon at the level 5s for free, they each have a 2000 as their highest stat and do fuck all on the opponent's turn and will almost certainly be gone by your next draw phase, meaning you won't even get to use them. And I'm not even done with this one yet, because it's not just that this is the shittiest Rhoda imaginable and only in your end phase, but it's 2014 when this was released, and Rhoda was going to 3. 2 months after this card's debut, it went up to 2.
Oh,
and
that's
then up
Rhoda?
to 3
Okay.
by the time the box set even dropped. It was useless in its debut format, and by the time Rhoda was limited again, this card was way too slow to be playable in a deck that was way too slow to be playable. And then there's the last effect. The prize for getting
That's
12
funny.
names, the best effect on the card by logic of needing the most to use it, and it's Upstart. For getting every single playable Noble Knight into play, and also Gwal Shavad, probably, you get Upstart Goblin. During the end phase, good hand traps to draw in 2014 were Maxi and Effect Veiler. Beyond that, you may as well have been drawing 2 during your draw phase, because that was practically what was being applied here. And that would have been so much better than this, but we can't give them good cards. These are Noble Knights. Or at least that was apparently what was up in 2014. And again, this requires 12 different names to get this effect. What the fuck is going on in your duel that you've been through 12 Noble Knights and you still haven't declared a winner? How does that ever even happen? And all
Hey,
just to draw a card?
it can be a
Truthfully,
stally
this is
duel,
a
you
problem
know?
with this type of effect on any card. You see similar enough effects on cards like the Mech Knight field spell or the Fur Hire field spell, things that require you to get the most possible out of your deck. But where Noble Knights draw 1 card in the end phase, Fur Hire at least gets to destroy the entire board, and Mech Knight gets to send the opponent's entire hand and extra deck to the graveyard.
That's crazy.
Which are insanely strong effects, but even those aren't used, because all of these effects have requirements that if you're going to get to that point, you should have already won already. You already have so much advantage over the opponent, or the duel's going on so long that it's probably not even going to meaningfully matter when it happens. Each of them asks for setup where a game is already over in 99.99999% of games, and so their effects are simply win more. Except
That's
for,
a
of
cool
course,
looking
Noble
card,
Knights,
though.
who instead get to draw 1 card in the end phase. But I bring this up to say that I don't know what effect you could even put in this slot that would feel worth it. Blow up the field? Sure, but they probably don't have much to blow up if you've gotten through 12 names. And 1 draw feels like you're being told to run a mile so that you can get yourself a teaspoon of water. That's it? I don't really have a solution to this. I just flat out don't know if you can make this effect worth it. The easiest way to make this card more playable is,
just
of
a
course,
shitty
to
card.
make it usable during your main phase.
It's just,
During
like,
your main
probably the
phase,
worst
if you have
card.
this many knights, foolish. Special one. Draw an extra card. Holy shit, this card's a lot better with that, isn't it? It's such a large ask for that many names, but in my opinion, it would be infinitely better, and I don't know if you could argue otherwise. Even would have helped get the deck over its normal summon reliance, which was a very big problem. It could have been a solid card, but it's not, and instead it's just the POV of you walked in on the mayonnaise is too spicy gang. God, what an awful joke. Okay, moving on
That's
to the
funny.
modern day. This card has only gotten worse with time, becoming unplayable by the time Duelist Alliance dropped. The only recorded top this card has ever seen came in July of 2014, right before Duelist Alliance, in the state of Nevada. This is just a Noble Knight deck.
This is just a Noble Knight deck. Alright, now relative to my deck, right? I'm not running this guy. I'm not running her. I'm not running her. I might run him. I am running two of him. I'm running two of him. I'm running one of him. I do have this card and this card. And this card. It seems like this card is a good card. This is a good card. They give you this card in a Master Duel. And then there's a whole bunch of other wackadoo nonsense going on here. A lot of XYZ summons. This guy isn't even running Effect Veiler. What's going on here? This one? This is top 4? What's going on here? What is this card? And also, I don't know, this deck looks just too respectable. Like, it's just a real chill deck. These cards must go crazy. These XYZ summons must go crazy.
There is nothing interesting to see here, except maybe that they were playing Lady of the Lake. I did that back in the day too, but that was mostly because I pulled one. I don't think that was common in Noble Knight decks, or certainly wasn't wise. Either way, the deck most certainly topped in spite of Round Table and not because of it, and I won't hear anything otherwise. Did the slowest, shittiest field spell get top 4, or did rank 4 spam in a format with 3 soul charge? You tell me. It's really a shame that it isn't better, because, for one, it's the fucking Round Table of King Arthur. It's so iconic to the lore. Why couldn't you make it good? And also, Noble Knight as a deck could really use a good field spell. They're locked out of back row, more than most decks are, since they've got that reliance on equip spells, so the field spell being a 6th slot would have really allowed them to get some more effects beyond the reliance on both Knight and Swords. These days, Noble Knights, by and large, have been replaced by the Infernoble Knights, because those cards don't need the equip spells to be good. The equip spells just help make them better. You know, the way the Noble Knight should have been. All Noble Knight support helps them inadvertently, and the simple fact that they were designed in 2019 makes them stronger and more consistent. And even now, with the new field spell of Camelot, which is functionally just get out Round Table, it still sucks.
What you mean? What you mean? That's tragic. Once per turn, if a Noble Knight card would be destroyed, you can destroy one equip card you control instead. That's not that bad, honestly. I kind of like that. During your main phase, you can banish this card until the standby phase. Okay. I guess if somebody was trying to destroy it or something. Honestly, that card might be pretty good with, what do you call it? The, that Earthbound monster deck. Since I need, like, a field spell that can't really be gotten rid of easily. I mean, if you do place one... Oh, wait, what? No! That's awful.
Overall, Noble Knight, the Round Table, is fucking dog shit. And that's our look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Single card history. Noble Knights of the Round Table. Stay tuned for our next video. Or feel
That's
free
crazy.
To cards to review.
That's crazy and unfortunate. That's the way it goes, though. Well, it's time to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! You say you're in the lab? There we go. That's what we like to see.
YuGiOh Duel Links.
Hey, I did all this work to get comfy. I gotta turn off the lights. Tragic. And I like fucked up my toe earlier. It's truly painful in the worst ways. Alright, we back in here. Oh. So many containers, so little time. The great noodles have been sealed. There we go. Toes, keep them nice and warm. And we're ready to get our duel on.
It's time to duel.
Take a look at our deck and see what we got going on. These are a messy group of individuals. Keep it a bean. It's an extremely messy group of individuals. What do we have here, though? I want to try running Avalon. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. The only reason Avalon doesn't work is just because, like... Hold on. What's the requirements for Avalon? How is there like more than one card? Oh, whatever. Oh, 5? Okay. That is kind of a lot. But also it isn't. Like, it's not that crazy for it to be 5. It's just that 2 of them have to be one of these cards and this card. Or this card. It can be both of these cards. I don't know. I need more experience summoning Lancelin. We lost 4 matches yesterday because we just weren't dueling fast enough. Which is incredibly garbage. In my personal opinion, it's an awful way to lose. What, they want to make me fucking duel in the grand duel again? No thank you, brother. No thank you. I'm so okay. I'm so okay on that whole jive. Loomis and Umbra, but you're level 10. But we don't. Alright, let's see what this guy got. He has Obelisk? Ugh, crazy.
Duel. Here I go. My turn.
Not bad.
All right. I summon a monster in attack position. From my hand, I activate an equipped spell. My monster's effect activates.
Now this is interesting. This is interesting because now I can special summon Artorius a lot easier. That's insane. Ayo, that's crazy because of the lore. Both of these niggas end up killing King Arthur, and it's the best way to get him to the field is by having both of these guys on the field. That's insane. That's insane. Crazy story building. Crazy. Alright. But is that even the best play? I don't think so. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what we can do.
Here I go. I special summon a monster. I activate an equipped spell.
Because now we can summon that version, but
Here I go. I exceed summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
alright.
My turn is done. Here I go. My turn. I draw a card. I set a card.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm counting on you. I summon
Yo, 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 what's up, Neil? Hope you're feeling good, homie. Keep up the great work.
my monster's effect activates.
Always and Roland. Yeah, because sending Renaud to the graveyard doesn't help me. I can bring Renaud to my hand. And that would let me summon him. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that this turn instead.
My monster's effect activates.
Oh, this is Oh, well, that's a very basic card, I tell you what.
Time to battle. Playtime is over. I attack your life fuel. My monster.
Oh, that was free.
I win.
Yeah, what was bro cooking? A big nothing sandwich. That's what it looks like. I wish I could have this card. I wish I could have that card. What? No. Not dueling in that ridiculous world. Oh, hold on. The selection box goes kind of hard. Oh, I don't have any though. How do you get EX tokens? It just doesn't, there's no, okay. Well, no.
It's time.
When is
Duel. It's my turn.
So I don't think summoning this card by its own means is ever the way to go. Ever. Not even once. That shit is useless. But I feel like it might add a little bit of versatility to the deck.
I set this card face down. Now's the time. I summon a monster in attack position. My turn is done.
Here I go. My turn. Draw.
Whoa.
I summon a monster in attack position. Second, let's go now. Monster attacks.
Now's my chance. I reveal my face down card. My trap activates. Here I go. My turn. I draw a card.
No. It's not even a worthwhile effect.
From my hand.
It's not even vaguely a worthwhile effect.
I activate an equip spell.
I mean, I guess Roland is kinda useful here. But like not super? Bernard doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, it's just Ogier.
Now's the time. I summon a monster in attack. My monster's effect activates.
And then roll into the graveyard. Or this. But there's no reason for that right now. Think the Immortal Gearfried play is always like the better play at first. It's funny. He couldn't target the other card.
Spell.
My monster's effect activates. I end my turn.
I draw go. I summon all my monsters' effects back. Go. Attacks.
Exactly what I was waiting for. I activate unequipped spell. Okay, here I go. I draw.
That sucks.
My monster's effect activates. I'm counting on you. I special summon a monster.
Yeah, that does work in that way. Let's see what we can special summon. We don't need to special summon any of that. But if I tribute summon Ogier, we free up some space.
I activate unequipped spell.
Oh. That's not exactly what I wanted to do, but still works.
Monster's effect activates.
I wanted to give Gearfried the sword, but that's just not how that works. I contribute him to put a card in my hand. There's really no card in my hand that needs to be taken. I can't set this card if I want to take his monster. So
Let's back. Here we go. My monster's effect activates.
big out.
My monster attacks your life points
I request a rematch.
I win.
That's not too bad.
If you are a true duelist, I expect nothing less than your best.
This is a
strategies.
really shitty hand. At least I'm not going first though. There's still a chance to draw something useful.
My turn's done.
Here I go. My turn. I draw a card. I set a card. I set this card face down.
Yeah, it's still not great. I'll let it rock though.
My turn is
I mean, it's a fairly decent defensive hand, but
Need your help.
in a real duel, they would wipe my back row and have Effect Veiler in their hand. Easily.
I expected you.
But
I face down.
also,
I contribute my turn.
this is actually a really good like opening combo for this card. These cards do have synergy, just like not necessarily for the specific deck that I'm running. You know, because like Crackdown works pretty well with Vision Hero. Excuse me.
All right. I tribute summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
It's good. I'm glad I can destroy that card.
From my hand, I activate an equip
Use Durandal so we can put a card into our hand.
spell.
Always Ogier? Probably, yeah. Yeah, because Ogier leads the roll. And Renaud is very situational.
Playtime is over. I attack with a monster. My turn is done.
It's my turn. Draw. My turn's done.
It's my turn. I draw a card.
Bitch nigga Murdrot. Yeah. Ogier's still the play.
I'm counting on you. I summon a monster in attack position. My monster's effect activates. From my hand, I activate Let's Battle. Playtime is over. Not your life. My monster attacks.
Yeah. There wasn't much to learn from in that duel. The hand was very basic,
On my game.
but
It's not whether you.
maybe we just take cards out of the deck. You know, maybe we just we try to work on a smaller deck. There's hardly anything I want to take out of it. I guess maybe Gallatin, because I don't often need a boost in attack points. The point of this deck is not to go head to head in like confrontations, so taking this out probably will be good. This card is really useful. This card isn't that useful. I still don't really. I mean, he makes it possible to summon this card more effectively, but I was always perfectly fine with summoning this card through the special effect of Kusumi. You know? I think it's that bad. Yeah, Boars? Let's see about Boars. We got 14 of this nigga. So I already have to have an equip spell, but I could always summon Boars through Murdrot's effect, and if I summon him through Murdrot's effect, I could equip a card to him and then add another one. Oh, but then he'd be level 5. Well, it's in the rest of the graveyard. I don't know about that. It kind of works. Especially if I summon Artorias right afterwards, but I wouldn't be able to summon him right afterwards. That's the thing. Because he'd be level 5 now. Oh, but I would have another card, so I could summon the one guy. Okay, that can work. That's just fucking ratchet. That is ratchet as hell. Alright, let's see. Still don't know who we're taking out. Like, maybe Magus. Maybe Renaud. And I need another Merlin. Can only think of things I want to add to this deck. I cannot think of ways I can make it smaller. Except for taking out all of the useful trap cards. You know? Replacing that with like super optimum efficiency. Me. I want to get rid of Mirror Force, add boards, and see how it works. And that should be pretty easy to see because that's like a super consistent combo that happens when I use this duel or use this deck. Like all I need to do is summon or draw is Murdrach.
It's time to duel. Duel.
Or Merlin. It works. This actually works perfectly.
I'm counting on you. I summon a monster in attack position.
Or does it? Because this card doesn't re-equip. Which is a little bit obnoxious. Not gonna lie. But we can still make it work.
My monster's effect activates.
Oh yeah, so we can do this instead. We'll call it the Trader's Play. Okay? We'll call it the Trader's Play.
Now's the time. I special summon a monster. From my hand, I activate an equip spell.
Or no, that doesn't work either. Fuck. I mean, it would work if we didn't have Hot Claire. That card just doesn't re-equip itself, so we can't really use it. Which means summoning Ogier is probably the best play. Oh. Because otherwise I can't. There's like nothing to combo with.
Here I go. I special summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
Yeah, it still doesn't really help me. It's cool though. Maybe we'll craft something up afterwards. Huh?
I set this card face down. My monster's effect activates. My turn is done.
Here goes.
Yeah, all of that is still dependent on summoning Ogier.
Yes. I summon a monster, my monster's effect activates. From my hand, I activate a ritual. How's this? I ritual summon a monster. My monster's effect activates. How's this? I special summon a monster. From my hand, I activate an equip spell. It's time to go get him. I attack with my monster.
Now, my monster's effect activates.
If I do this, it's a better play.
Here I go. I exceed summon a monster.
My turn's done.
It's my
Go
turn.
right ahead.
Why?
I
That's
draw
weird.
a card.
You could have just attacked with this card. I personally would have, you know, if it were me. That shit is neat. Honestly, it's probably just better to, instead of activating Kusanine's effect, just go with attacking with Gearfried.
A monster. Let's battle. Playtime is over. My monster's effect activates. Here we go. My monster attacks your life points directly.
I'm surprised.
Still going to win.
I end my turn.
You're not bad. Not bad at all.
Slash, I didn't do the math at all.
Draw. I'm setting a monster. I end my turn.
Now isn't the time to let up. I draw.
Poor boy Drista. Go ahead, activate that effect.
Here I go. I summon a monster and now's the time.
Why?
I special summon a monster. Let's
It's just not even like vaguely strategic.
my monster attacks your life points directly.
That was disappointing, but I sure had fun.
It's not whether you win or lose. It's how you.
True. True. That guy might have what it takes to be the king of games. He has the right mentality. Let's see what we can do.
It's duel.
Eh. It could be worse.
It's my turn. I draw a card.
Huh.
I set a card.
This is one of the original openings right here. This is one of the openings of all time.
I'm counting on you. I summon a monster in attack position. From my hand, I activate an equip spell. From my hand, I activate an equip spell. My turn is done.
Definitely doesn't help you. Why though?
I expected you to do that. I reveal my face down card. My continuous trap activates.
Okay, I probably should have.
This is far. I expected you.
I could have avoided all of this.
An equip spell. I will not lose. My turn.
Could have avoided all of this for sure.
Part of the comp.
Oh, well, that's pretty advantageous. As far as the cards thing.
Now is the time. I special summon a monster. Let's battle. Here we go. My monster's effect activates. That's the end. I will not lose.
Let's go.
I still believe in my cards. I draw.
Let's go.
All right. I special summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
Nice. So we definitely could.
I activate an equip spell. I activate an equip spell. Time to battle. Playtime is over. I attack your life point. It's
Let's go.
over. I attack your life
We
point.
we effectively used our deck. Didn't want the smoke. What was that?
I win.
Oh, Ancient Warriors. Yeah, it didn't even have to get that far. I could have used Effect Failure, but I did not. I instead cheated with a Destiny draw, but people be having cheat ass fucking. That's actually a really good combo. Because usually, if somebody is like pushed my shit in, all of my cards will be in the graveyard, best case scenario, and they didn't banish all of them. And then I can like effectively use Gear Freed just turn one, especially if I have Effect Veiler in my hand. I can negate any bullshit that tries to negate my summoning of it, and then yeah, it's pretty good. It's good stuff. That's some good stuff. Some solid stuff right there. It's good to know.
If you are a true
Come on, duel.
This is kind of an anything hand.
I go. My turn. Here I go. I summon a monster.
It can work out though.
My turn is done.
I won't hold back. I draw. I set a monster. I'll end my turn.
It's my turn. I draw a card.
more interesting.
My monster's effect activates. Here I go. I summon a monster in attack position. Let's battle. Let's do this. I attack with a monster. Let's do this. I attack your life force.
Don't
My
touch
turn
your
is
chickens.
done.
Won't hold back. I draw. Ready for this? My monster's effect activates.
Nope.
I expected you to do that. My monster's effect activates. Here I go. My turn. I draw a card. I set this card face down.
Strategy.
Now's the time. I tribute summon a monster. Time to here we go.
Huh?
Monster's effect activates.
Bedtime is over.
I didn't expect that. I'm not gonna lie.
I end my turn.
Can't cap. He caught me off guard with the Karibo play.
I draw.
Felt like a villain right there.
I summon a monster in attack position. My monster's effect activates. Battle. Say hello to your new best friend. My monster
All part of my plan.
My monster's effect activates.
I guess it's the end of my turn.
Here I go. I draw.
Oh wait, hold on. Hold on, let's see. Let's see if I can pull something off.
My monster's effect activates.
Oh, I'm salty about that actually. I fucked up the order of operations.
My monster's effect activates. All right. I special summon a monster. I'm counting on you. I summon a monster in attack position. Let's battle. It's over. I attack with a monster.
Another sphere Karibo? That's crazy. That wouldn't have happened with me.
My monster attacks.
I would have attacked with him first, activated Jutsu, then the Jutsu would have counteracted the, you know what I'm saying?
Got some serious skill.
It's not. It's time to duel.
According to my calculations, I'm going to beat you in no Let's duel. Just as I calculated. If I set a monster, my
Here
turn.
I go. My turn. I draw a card.
Interesting. Not great though.
I'm counting on you. I summon a monster in attack position.
Damn, I got. Oh, no. I couldn't have equipped this to his monster, it's face down.
I activate an equip spell. I activate an equip spell.
My stomach has been giving me problems. Yeah. So I do this.
I summon a monster in attack
And
position.
since Roland is already right there, this should work out, right? It doesn't destroy the card. Yep, perfect. It does destroy the card. I didn't know that. I completely forgot. Oh, but that also works out perfectly too, because
My monster's effect activates.
wow, it's actually a genius play. Genius level play.
Playtime is over. My monster attacks.
Genius level play.
Activates. My turn is done.
The data never lies. My turn. I'm drawing a card. I said my turn is
Here I go. My turn. I draw a card. From my hand, I activate an equip spell. I activate an equip spell. Time to battle. Let's do this. I attack with a monster. Let's do this. My monster attacks your life points directly. I end my turn.
numbers never. Is there a mistake in my? I draw. This is my optimal move.
Oh?
My hand, going by my calculations. From my hand, I active. Let's battle due to my calculations. I'm attacking. My turn is done.
Here I go. I draw.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Time to battle. Let's do this. I attack with a my monster's effect activates.
Give me that.
I end
Is
my
there a
turn.
mistake in my formula? I draw. I set a card face down. My turn is done.
Now isn't the time to let up. I draw.
There's nothing you can do to me now.
Attack your life points directly.
But
It's not whether you It's time to duel.
That's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Boars came up once, but he wasn't really helpful. Let me check and see if Oliver's card is in this game. Wait, how would this help me? This says, I mean, first of all, I don't even got no fusion cards, so what? Feels like something's missing here. Like, what is this deck supposed to be supporting? Hey, this could work in Master Duel, I guess, for that one Amazoness fusion card. But so that's supposed to be Lancelot behind him? Interesting. Why would I do this? This is kind of helpful for XYZ card. I don't see this being super useful. It just gives us more of an ability to summon the Sacred Noble Knight. But I personally feel like that's like the less useful version. This card is kind of useful. Also, Bedwar would probably be useful if, like, one of these cards had a Noble Arms card on it. It's an awful effect. This is a good card, I'm not gonna lie, but I've never really been able to use it in any type of clutch play. Searching equip cards is very useful though.
It's time to duel.
Shall we duel? Our battle will be most excellent.
I mean,
Here I go. My turn.
Merlin opening play
Here I go. I summon a monster in attack position.
into what though with this hand? I think. Yeah, I guess it's Murderat. Always Murderat.
Here I go. I special summon a monster. From my hand, I activate an equip spell. My monster's effect activates. Now is the time. I special summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
Huh? You said, what, is one of the cards not as good as you thought it was? Is that what you're saying?
I set this card face down. My monster's effect activates. My turn is done.
Let's always remember to have fun. Draw. I trust this card. I summon a monster in attack position. I set a home battle. Fight for me. My monster attacks.
Now, my monster's effect activates. Now is the time. I exceed summon a monster.
I end my
It's
turn.
my turn. I draw a card.
Very nice. So how clear, right? Yeah. Okay.
My monster's effect activates. All right. I special summon a monster.
help us.
My monster's effect activates. My monster's effect activates. Time to battle. Let's do this. My monster attacks your life points directly. It's over. I attack your life points directly.
There we go. Destroyed in the blink of an eye.
You have defeated me, but I would enjoy a rematch in the future.
That was an excellent duel. I'm looking forward to a rematch.
It was mid at best. Is this actually like a glass jar? Wow, it actually is a glass jar. Like, they weren't kidding. You guys are crazy. Very surprised. What type of metal music do you like? Blue? I like Metallica. They're cool. The morning after.
Hey! Want a duel? Duel! Get ready! It's my turn! Come on! I summon a monster in attack position! My monster's effect activates! Alright! I special summon a monster! My monster's effect
That's pretty good.
I need you! I special summon a monster! From my hand, I activated a quick spell!
Here I go. My turn. I draw a card.
Okay.
Now's the
So you get to try a different opening.
monster in attack. My monster's effect activates. Here I go. I special summon a monster.
Oh. Did you say she needs help? Yeah. Well, she ain't getting none here. Only thing she about to get is defeated. Seems like a pretty decent card.
All right. I synchro summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
Just equip any of these? That's pretty useful. That's pretty useful.
I activate an equip spell. My monster's effect activates.
You don't know. Very interesting.
I can't believe I lost.
First time I ever got to summon that card. There's only children, for some reason, roaming the streets to be dueled. I just... Where are their parents? Mickey, where is your parent? You should not be dueling Yami Yugi in the street. It's just not wise.
If you are a true duelist, I expect nothing less than your best strategies.
Come on, let's duel.
Duel. It's my turn.
I guess we go with the...
All right. I summon a monster in attack position. My
Let's see,
monster's
let's see,
effect
let's see.
activates. From my hand, I activate an equip spell. I activate an equip spell.
Really? Interesting.
I'm counting on you. I special summon a monster. All right. I synchro summon a monster. My monster's effect activates. My monster's effect activates. My monster's effect activates. My turn is done.
My turn. I draw from my hand. I activate a spell.
Nice.
I set a mark. That's the
Here
end
I go.
of my turn.
My turn. I draw a card. From my hand, I activate a spell.
Oh, that's from the graveyard too. That's pretty useful.
My monster's effect activates. I'm counting on you. I special summon a monster.
Then... I guess it just makes sense to put out Magus.
I summon a monster in attack position. Time to battle. Playtime is over. I attack with a monster. Here we go. I attack your life. My monster's effect activates.
I haven't lost yet.
Oh, I don't think I ever put Avalon in my deck.
I end my turn.
That was like part of the biggest reason why we were like trying to craft stuff and test stuff out. So silly.
Now isn't the time to let up. I draw.
Get auto dude, fool.
I summon a monster and here I go.
Unnecessary.
Special summon a monster. I set this card face time to back yours. And attack your life points directly.
Sorry, Mickey. You've been sent to the Shadow Realm. Before you can even legally drink. Unless you're just a midget. In which case, that's, or the vertically challenged individual. I don't want to be inappropriate. I apologize for any vertically challenged individuals I may have offended in that moment right there. Editor, please. Thank you. How could I have not put an Avalon? I looked it up and everything. Pulling out cards left and right. No. Alright, hopefully she got some sauce. Some high quality stuff. Oh, whole time? Didn't even peep.
If you are a true duelist, I expect nothing less than your best strategies.
I'm on fire today.
Duel. Here I go. My turn. I'm counting on you.
It's not the greatest play, but it does set up for something next turn if we don't die.
My turn. Time to draw. I set a card. I set a card. I end my turn.
Here I go. My turn. I draw a card.
It's not the worst.
Here I go. I tribute summon a monster. My monster's effect activates. Time to back. Here we go. Attack your life points directly. I end my turn.
Come on. I reveal my
Okay.
Now isn't the time to let up. I draw. Now is the time. I summon a monster in attack.
Actually works out very optimally.
My monster's effect activates.
just like to lose. Well, when we have our rematch, you'll be the one who gets burned.
That
Man.
wasn't
Stop all that malarkey.
If you are a true duelist, I expect nothing less than your
Duel.
Here I go. My turn. I set a card. All right. I summon a monster in attack. My monster's effect activates. I turn.
What? I did not mean to do that.
I draw. I
Oh, that's garbage.
My turn. I draw a card.
Yeah, it's so garbage. It's whatever though.
Here I go. I summon a monster in attack. My monster's effect activates. All right. I exceed summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
Excuse me. Here's my face down card. I activate a quick play spell.
Okay.
My monster's effect activates.
Can I have two of them on the field? No, I cannot. That's fine though.
My monster's effect activates. I'm counting on you. I special summon a monster.
We just ride like this.
Time to battle. Let's do this. My monster attacks your light. Here we go. My monster's effect activates. I win. If you are a true duelist,
I'm gonna duel.
Okay.
Get ready for this.
It's
And
my turn. I draw a card.
Okay. So we're gonna go for the Avalon play. Let's see how long it takes us to get there.
Here I go. I summon a monster in attack position.
Burrow also ended his turn, which is hilarious, because like we could probably just beat him this turn. I don't know.
My monster's effect activates. Here I go. I special summon a monster. Let's do this! My monster attacks your life
That's all
points
you got.
directly.
You'll never win.
My turn is done.
I believe in my cards.
I'm sure you do.
I draw. I set a card face down. I end my turn.
Here I go. My turn. I draw a card. Here I go. I special summon a monster.
I was waiting for this. Let's go. I special summon a monster.
I set a card. My turn is done.
Get ready for this. My turn. I draw from my hand. I activate a spell. Show 'em who's boss. I triple summon a monster. Let's battle. Get ready. My monster attacks.
Now, I reveal my face down card.
I end my
And
turn.
here I go. My turn. I draw a card. Now's the time. I summon a monster in attack position. Time to battle. Let's do this. My monster attacks your life points directly. I end
I'm
my
not
turn.
out. Hey, you're not too bad. I draw. I send a monster. My turn's done.
Okay, here I go. I draw.
None of these really help me summon Artorias, or Artorius.
I end my turn.
You're dreaming if you think I'll lose. My turn. I draw. Let's go. I tribute summon a monster.
He's going for it.
Do it. My monster attacks.
You want to do it? No.
Turn's done.
Okay, here I go. My turn. I draw.
Very nice. That is exactly what I need.
Now's the time. I summon a monster in attack position. Now's the time. I exceed summon a monster. I set a card. Time to battle. Here we go. My monster attacks.
Perfect. Now I think I can use the card. It only took me 10 turns. 10 turns to set it up. But I think I can use it.
My turn.
Hey, you're not too bad. It's my turn. I
I just want to see him put more cards on the field so I can destroy them. I'm just saying. Some men just want to see the world burn. Yeah.
I end my turn.
You're dreaming if you think I'll lose. My turn. I draw. My monster's effect activates. Let's go! I triple summon a monster. My turn's
Now
done.
isn't the time to let up. My turn. I draw. I end my
Hey,
turn.
you're not too bad. From my hand, I activate a spell.
Now's my chance. I reveal my face down card. My trap activates.
Crazy.
Here I go. My turn. I draw.
Absolutely insane.
From my hand, I activate a spell.
Oh, I took that one card out of my hand, or out of my deck. Well, it doesn't matter.
Here I go. I summon a monster in attack. I send Blacks back. Playtime is over. My monster attacks. I end my
You
turn.
think I'll I draw. I set a monster face down. My turn's done.
Now isn't the time to let up. My turn. I draw. All right. I tribute summon a monster. Blacks back. Playtime is over. I attack with a monster.
Right there. My monster's effect activates.
It's over. My monster attacks your life points directly. It's not.
Yeah, 10 turns is a lot. Like, what did I mean, I was able to summon Lancelot really quickly. But getting Artorias out took like 2 whole turns. Is there like an easier way to do that? I mean, I can kind of see an easier way to do that. It just, I have to have the right cards in my hand.
Alright, what if I took him out and then put his magic card back in?
If you are a true realist, I expect nothing less than your best strategies.
Excuse me, but it would be wonderful if we could duel.
Duel.
Let's make this a... Here I go. I summon a monster. Send it my turn. Is complete.
Here I go. My turn. I draw a card.
Interesting. Oh, I think I can potentially OTK here.
I activate a spell.
We just have to get that nigga Renaud in our hand. And then this.
I'm counting on you.
There we
Summon
do
a monster
this.
in attack position. Here I go. I special summon a monster.
Then we do this.
All right. I synchro summon a monster.
Then we do this.
From my hand, I activate an equip spell. I
Then we
activate
do
an equip
this.
spell. My monster's effect activates. Let's battle. Let's do this. I attack with my monster's effect activates. Playtime is over. I attack your life points directly. I attack your life points directly.
Very nice. Very nice. Wasn't exactly the hand I wanted to start off with, but it worked well enough.
I'll take you on duel.
Here I go. My turn.
Yeah.
Here I go. I summon a monster in attack position. From my hand, I activate an equip spell. My monster's effect activates. All right. I special summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
Okay. Oh, I can summon Charles? True. I forget when I have Renaud in my hand. So Renaud and Noble Arms card plus Murdrot equals Charles. Did not know that. Now I know that. No, I feel like summoning Charles now doesn't really do anything for me.
Alright. I special summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
Okay.
Alright. I synchro summon a monster. My monster's effect activates. From my hand, I activate an equip spell.
Alright.
My monster's
That was one heck of an opening, and we got a backup just to boot.
My turn is done.
Not too bad.
You're ready. It's my turn. Draw. From my hand, I activate a continuous spell. I set my
Here
turn
I go.
start.
My turn. I draw a card.
Only I could make my guy a little stronger. Alas, none of that.
I activate an equip spell. Time to battle. Playtime is over. I attack with a monster.
My monster's effect activates.
Here we go. My monster attacks your life points directly.
Problem here.
My monster's effect activates. My monster's effect activates. I end my
You
turn.
might be in a jam.
That's pretty good.
My turn. I draw. I set a monster face down. I end my turn.
Now isn't the time to let up. My turn. I draw. I activate an equip spell. Time to battle. Here we go. I attack with a monster.
My monster's effect activates.
Be gone.
My monster attacks your life points directly. That was an excellent turn.
Very interesting. There's still some plays in this deck that I'm unfamiliar with. Though that being the case, I do feel myself getting increasingly sleepy. I don't know if it was the pasta or the fact that today's stream wasn't going to be long for regardless. All that being the case. Oh, it's Sloth. How you doing, homie? Oh, if I remember correctly, you're a Mario fan? Pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, we'll be doing the Galaxy stuff pretty soon. Tomorrow I'm actually going to be streaming for a large part of the day, trying to get that stuff together. So that'll be happening soon. But thanks for joining us. Hope you're feeling good, man. Hope you're enjoying your weekend and you like the cold weather. Oh yeah, the right arm of Exodia is a very dope card. Big dopeness. You know? So is the left arm, so is the head. I just always thought it was weird that the cards never really like matched up perfectly. Like you couldn't like puzzle piece it together. It was always gonna look like a little bit off. But yeah, we're definitely going to be streaming for a while tomorrow. But I can already feel myself dozing a little bit. And Yu-Gi-Oh is not the type of game you can doze off in, especially speed dueling. You'll run out all the time you have if you try to duel online. Excuse me. And even though I can click auto duel, my main reasoning is to try to figure out what we can do with the deck. Can't do that if you're sleeping. So, that being the case, I'm going to go ahead and do that thing. I'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early. We'll do a watch party for a Smash tournament, all that good stuff. So, toodaloo. Peace.